Dr Sandesh Gulhane is the Scottish Conservative Shadow Minister for Public Health. A very good morning to you. Good to see you again.
Good morning.
Is this being welcomed across the board there?
The fact that we're getting an inquiry is a really big thing, and we've been calling for this for a long time. It's actually the reason I got into politics, because of how poor the communication was between the Scottish Government and doctors. In fact, I just quickly tell you that I was seeing a patient, I gave them advice, and then at 3 o'clock, the advice completely changed, and what I told the patient was incorrect. And this type of thing just can't happen again. We need to ensure we learn our lessons, and the Scottish Government must take responsibility for failings that have happened.
And presumably from people you've spoken to, those, doing a similar job to you and others are very much going to welcome this.
Absolutely. Look, when we're out in the front line, when we're working with the PPE that we got in Scotland, so I got sent out-of-date PPE with a sticker on top. That was just an updated sticker of the sell-by date, so they'd gone. And I didn't feel safe. I didn't feel as though I was being valued as a Scottish NHS worker. And there was no explanation as to why this PPE was out of date or what was happening. And the fact that my practice was borrowing equipment from builders merchants, we were borrowing it from scouts giving us donations. We were in no way prepared for the pandemic, and the Scottish Government did not produce quick enough the equipment that we needed. And this simply cannot happen again. And the thing that I really want to ensure is spoken about is the communication that has happened, and the way that the Scottish Government communicated with not just other members of Parliament, but also with the people who are on the front line who are doing the job, as I was and am.
That dreadful phrase that we keep hearing on major events like this, lessons will be learned. What lessons? I mean, you've just outlined what went wrong. Really what people want is some sort of accountability, because lives were lost because of the way this was handled.
You're absolutely right. There needs to be accountability. And in Scotland, what we see a number of occasions on things that we've looked at seem to be swept under the carpet. There seems to be some secrecy in Scotland. We've got delays when it comes to actually talking about what's happened. And so we want to have this open and transparent. The accountability needs to be at the very top. The person at the very top who's always said, Nicola Sturgeon has always said that she is running this, she's running everything. And so she must take accountability for what is being said. And, we've already had some discussions, and we've already had some findings that have come out from other investigations, and it has shown chaos at the top of the Scottish Government at the start of the pandemic, and a lack of communication. And that goes with exactly what I was feeling on the ground. But that needs to be, the accountability needs to be there.
And just finally, and very quickly, Dr Gulhane, I just wanted to find out, how it is in Scotland right now regards COVID and infection, because it's likely to be extended again next week, the existing regulations. Has there been a surge?
Well, look, what we need to do in Scotland is we need to have a balance between opening up and ensuring that we are protecting people. We need to have that balance struck. And currently, the rules don't make any sense. You're allowed to do some things, but you're not allowed to do others. And the fact that the rules are so... the rules don't make any sense. We had a phrase in Scotland about vertical drinking. That's just standing at a bar having a drink, and whether that's allowed or not. And you're allowed to have a mask on if you're in a nightclub dancing, having a drink, but not if you're dancing. And these type of rules just don't make any sense. And if we're going to have rules in Scotland, they need to make sense to the people, so that people can follow them because they want to follow them. And the one thing I want to say is that the extension of the Scottish Government powers that have gone way beyond what we need is something that's worrying for the freedoms of the people of Scotland. We need to ensure that the government has the powers that they need only for the length of time that it's needed, not to have this an open-ended, they can do what they want for as long as they want.
Well, it's good to talk to you, Dr Sandesh Gulhane. Thank you very much for joining us this morning.